Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing well out there today. Here recently, we took a look at Snippet Box, which is a Docker container that allows you to store code snippets and do that sort of thing. And while I was doing some more research on that developer, I discovered that they have another project that I really want to share with you guys today that's called Flame Dashboard. But before we get into all of that, a quick message from today's video sponsor. YourCDKey.com is a great place to get guaranteed lifetime software and operating system licenses for amazing prices. Let's take a look at Windows 10 Pro. So here we are on the Microsoft Windows 10 page, and we can see that the current price is $18.98. But if you use the coupon code that's in the description down below, you'll get it even cheaper. So I'm going to go ahead and put that coupon code in and press apply. And now we can see the new price is $13.29. Now I have the option to go ahead and view the keys right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Then I'll click on get the key. And then I'm going to come over here, and right there you can change the product key. So go ahead and click on that. I'm going to go ahead and change the product key right here. So I've entered my key, and I'll click next. Then I'll click on activate. And here we can see that Windows is activated. Next, what we want to do is go ahead and validate the key installation. And right there, you can see the Windows 10 Professional Edition is permanently activated. So head on over to yourcdkey.com to get your next Windows 10 Pro key at ridiculously low prices. So here we are. We're taking a look at the Flame dashboard that I've set up for myself, for my server, and this is fairly heavily modified as far as style sheets are concerned. However, doing this really wasn't that difficult, and that's what I really dig about Flame dashboard is the developers done a good job of making it super easy to customize via CSS or cascading style sheets. Very simple to do that sort of thing. And what's kind of cool about this is you can actually integrate with the Docker socket so that you can actually have applications pull up automatically anytime they're added to Docker. So let's just kind of talk about the different aspects of this. Of course, up at the top there is today's date, date, month, year. Over on the right hand side there is the weather for my area. Below that it says good morning, good sir, and that is basically I think you've got 4 different options as far as times of day that you can use and modify. Mine actually changes depending on the time of day. It changes kind of how it addresses me. But again, that was just me having some fun with some things just to see how it worked. Below that, we've got applications, and these are all of the different applications that I have set to be public. With a version that was released this morning, 2.0.0, an authentication method was added that allows you to show or hide different applications, or below that bookmarks, depending on whether or not the user who's viewing this is logged in. And that applies to, like I said, applications, bookmarks, but it applies to bookmark categories. There is actually a category in here that you can't see because it is hidden, and I'll demonstrate that here in just a moment. And basically all of the icons that you see here, both in the applications and the bookmarks, I was able to actually determine what those were going to be based on my own preferences. So lots of customization there. And then, I mean, that's really kind of it. So let's do this. Let's come over to here. And right here, you can see that we're in settings. That's kind of in the bottom left-hand corner, right down here. If we click on that, we've got the option for a theme. They've got several themes in here. Well done on giving people options. I really do appreciate that. And then below that, we've got the app. And here, in order to be able to configure anything, you'll need to be logged in. So if we come over to the GitHub, or sorry, the hub.docker.com, we can see what's going on in here. Right here is the default password. It says flame_password, and I think that's what mine still is. Let me check that. Yeah, that's what mine still is. I should probably change that. But so if we come back up to the top, now you can see we've got a bunch of new options in here. Before we had like theme and app, and those were our 2 options. Now we've got, weather. We can come in here and we can get an API key and put in our latitude and longitude and select our unit of measure for Fahrenheit or Celsius. Once we save all of that, then we can go back and then we'll be able to see local weather that will update periodically. It's based on a cron that runs in the system. So we come back over to here, we can take a look at search. In here, we've got some options. In fact, I should go back and explain that too. Right up here at the top, there's a search bar. It's kind of hidden. Mixed feelings on that. I feel like maybe putting, search or some kind of default text in there would make it more obvious, but that's just my preference. So there is a search bar up here that works really well. In fact, if we come back over here and go to search, we can see that there are several different options that you can choose from. What do you want to search in by default? I think by default it was set to Deezer. I switched it to DuckDuckGo. Of course, you could use Google, IMDb. You could search locally, which I think is kind of cool. Reddit, Spotify, IMDb, Tidal, Wikipedia, and YouTube, and whatever dis root is. So then all you have to do is add your, or select what you want here. Oops. And then do you want it to open in the same tab, true or false? Hide the search bar, true or false? Disable search bar autofocus, true or false? And then down here, you can actually add additional custom search engines if you want to do that. And here you can give it a name, a prefix, and then right here it gives you a template of what your query should look like for this. And I'll have, of course, links to all of this in the description down below for more information if you want to add your own information in here. So go ahead and close that. Next, we'll click on interface. Here, custom page title. You can switch this if you'd like to DB Tech home page. And then you can select your date formatting, however you'd like that to be. App behavior, pin new applications by default, true or false. New categories, true or false. Custom sorting type, do you want them to be by creation date, alphabetical order, or custom? This only applies to certain things, not everything. Do you want to open applications in the same tab, true or false? Do you want to open bookmarks in the same tab, true or false? Hide greeting and date, this is for the header, true or false here as well. And then right here, you can kind of see, let me scroll up a little bit, those custom greetings that I showed where it said, good morning, good sir. You can, again, change these like you see here and make them kind of say whatever you want depending on the time of day. I would make sure that you keep these in order. And like it says here, greetings must be separated with a semicolon and only 4 messages can be used. So 4 times of day. Custom weekday names, if you wanted to be clever or if you wanted to change the order of these. I know some people start on Monday versus Sunday. You can change the order of those as you see necessary. Same thing with custom months. You can change those as well. Do you want to show the time, true or false? I like having the time in there. That's actually new. That wasn't in the previous version. Below that, we can hide applications or categories. So if we were to come back over here, you could hide the applications section, or you could hide the bookmarks section based on what you want to do down here. Once you got all of this set up the way you want, click Save Changes. Great, that's been done. And then here you can see it actually already updated DB Tech homepage, just like we wanted it to. Now here, like I said, you can use the Docker API if you want to do that, and you can just enable it like that. And then in order to use the Docker API for this and have applications integrate with this, there are a series of labels that you'll have to put in each of the containers that you want to attach to this. And once you've got that, add the labels, redeploy. They should start showing up in here. And then you can actually have these unpinned, pinned or unpinned, depending on whether or not those Docker containers are running or not. And then if you want, you can use the Kubernetes Ingress API if you wanted to do that. So make those changes as you see fit. Add the labels to the containers that you want to automatically show up in here, and you're pretty much good to go at that point. Below that, the custom CSS, this media, so for this media query, for those of you who are comfortable and familiar with style sheets, this is a media query saying the minimum width, anything above this minimum width, do this. So basically, this little bit right here and this last curly brace, curly bracket, whatever you want to call it, that was already in here. All of this stuff I added in order to get the aesthetic that I wanted for my dashboard. It's very, very easy to come in here and modify this based on the classes and IDs and things like that of the different elements in the in the actual code. And then you can just customize this to your heart's content and have your own custom looking dashboard like I've done. And once you're done with that, of course, click Save. And then let's move on here to App. And basically right here, it says you're logged in and you can determine you can actually see right here when it will log you out, which would be for me in about 2 weeks. And then right here, you can see that I'm on Flame version 2.0.0. That's the most current version as of this morning. You can check the change logs here, or you can check for updates. Of course, down here it says you're using the latest version. So let me log out real quick. I'm going to get logged back in, but right here you can set the session duration for everything from 1 hour to a year. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So here we can see that it won't log me out until November 15th of 2022. So let's actually go ahead and get this deployed on a new setup so that we can kind of start from scratch, and I can show you what it's like to set Fire Dashboard up for yourself. So what I'm going to do is just come right over to here. Let's see. You know what? I don't like this. I actually have my own set up somewhere over here. Let me find it. There we go. Basically, this will be available down in the description as well. I'll have a link directly to this so you can check out this. So I'm just going to do a copy up here at the top right. And then I'm going to go to my server. So I'll do 192.168.1.183, port 9000. Great. So we come over here to stacks. You can see I've already got one of them deployed right here. Let me see what nope, it's not on there. Great. So I'm going to go back to stacks. I'm going to add a stack. I'm going to paste that in there. I'm going to call this Flame, just like so. Now, this keeps coming up from time to time. I'm actually putting out a YouTube short about this in a couple of days. But if we come over to, over to here, this is the hub.docker.com page. And if you come over here to tags, right here, you can see there's a series of tags in here. And if you look in this center column right here, you can see there's OS/Arch. This is for architecture. That has to do with the CPU architecture. So the latest tag right here is only compatible with AMD 64 processors. Basically, that's going to be any of your desktop style processors, whether it's Intel, AMD, whatever. Those are your AMD 64 processors. So here we've got multi-arch, which is 2.0.0. Below that, we can see that it's Linux/AMD 64, just like we saw up above. But below that, we've also got Linux/ARM, both a V7 and a 64-bit. So make sure that if you want to deploy this, that you grab, I would honestly recommend grabbing this multi-arch 2.0.0. If you wanted to run this like on a Raspberry Pi, for instance. So in order to do that, all you have to do is come over here to Portainer like that. So doing this will give you the access to install this on a desktop CPU, again, like I mentioned, Intel, AMD, whatever, as well as your ARM processors, whether it's Raspberry Pi or some other ARM-based solution that you might be running. You can just put it in like this, and you should be good to go at that point. Here we can see that below that we've got the container name is Flame. Below that, we've got a volume. Now, this one is mapped specifically to a folder on my server. Now, oftentimes you'll see me do something, like this, where I'll type in volumes, and then we'll do Flame DB for Flame Dashboard. And then, of course, I would come over to here like this and type in Flame DB, and that's how I would run that. Now, the problem with that is, this makes it much more difficult to copy your data. Let's say you wanted to deploy this somewhere else on another server. You didn't want to go through this whole process of adding all of your applications and your bookmarks and all of that sort of thing. Doing it this way isn't advised. Even though I normally do this, this is the one time I'll say definitely don't do it this way. Actually come back and mount it with a shared folder somewhere on your system so that you can access the files to do your backups, uploads, things like that much more easily. So, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. Below that, we've got ports. By default, it's on port 5005. Just for the sake of this, I'm going to make it 5006. You only want to change the external port, not the internal port. Below that, we've got an environmental variable. For that, it's going to be what do you want your password to be in order to log in and administer the application. In this case, I'm just leaving it as dashboard or as password. I don't know, dashboard, password. But make sure you change that to whatever you want your password to be. And then below that, restart unless stopped. Pretty standard. So once we've got all of this, all we've got to do is come down and click on deploy the stack. I'll give this a minute. Of course, this is going to take a minute because I told it to do the multi-architecture version 2. So we'll give this a minute to do its thing, and then we'll come back.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now we've got our Flame dashboard right here. We can see that is the Flame multi-architecture that we just launched. And if we just come over here and click published ports, If that doesn't work, I already made a short about how to fix this. If it takes you to 0.0.0.0, and then this port, I made a short about that yesterday. So definitely check that out if you got questions about how to fix that. And here we are. This is our dashboard. This looks very, very, very different than this right here. So let's kind of talk about how to walk through some of these steps. So the first thing we want to do, obviously, we are logged in, so that's good. If we come over to here, it says we're logged in for a couple of weeks. Good deal. Here, we can check for updates. We can select our theme, however we want to do that. By default, it's on Tron. Our weather, you can go over to Weather API, get a key from these guys. You get 1 million calls per month on your key. So just go ahead and get a free key here and put your API key right in here, your secret API key. Then you can go and get your latitude and longitude from latlong.net. If we come over to here, you can just put your address in right there and click find, and it'll give you the latitude and the longitude that you can then put into these two spots respectively. And then come down here to the temperature unit and select Celsius or Fahrenheit, whatever you want to use for your setup. Then, of course, click Save Changes. And then, of course, all of this other stuff is basically the same process as we looked at before. So nothing to go over on that. So let's actually come back to here. It says you don't have any applications. You can add new ones from the Applications menu. So what's cool is you can click here and then add applications, or you can actually click Applications and add applications. So at this point, you can just click on Add, give it a name. We'll call this DB Tech Wiki, and it would be HTTPS dbt.com. And then for the app icon, this one's kind of neat. You can upload custom icons if you want to do that. That's absolutely fine. And just select your icon and be done with it. Or we can come over to here. So if you want to know what app icons you can use, it looks like they've integrated with the material design icons. So if there was a specific icon you wanted, so we're gonna do a wiki. So you could come over here and type in wiki, like so, and see if it returns anything. You could use the Wikipedia like that if you wanted to. So let's just do that. We'll just type in Wikipedia right there. Like so, and then below that, you got some app visibility options where it's either completely visible or you have to be logged in order to see it. You can pick and choose how you want to handle that. For the sake of this, we're just going to make it visible. We'll click on Add New Application, and then we can close that, or we can just keep adding. I love that they actually left this up so that you can just keep adding applications and not have to keep clicking Add New, Add New, Add New. Leave this up, add as many as you want, and then you're done. So if we come back, click right here. Here we can see it actually put in that Wikipedia icon right there. If we click it, hey, there we go. Now there is the DB Tech wiki for all of these different Docker Compose /stacks that we've been using on the channel lately. So of course you can keep adding and adding and adding and adding all of these stacks as you'd like, or not these stacks, these applications. If you wanted to, you could also come back to here, click on bookmarks, and then you can then add categories. So let's say, sure, social media. And then do you want this to be visible to everybody or just people who are logged in? Make your selection there. We're going to add a new category. And then, of course, you can add more categories if you want to or need to, whatever. Then we'll just add this. We'll say Reddit. That's fine. Say HTTP reddit.com. Your bookmark category will be, in this case, social media. And then let's see if Reddit is an option in here. It is. So that's what we're going to use. So we'll come back over to here. We're just going to go ahead and paste that in there. And again, you can decide at the bookmark level, not just the category level, but at the individual bookmark level, if you want this to be available to everybody or just people who are logged in. So we'll go ahead and click on Add New Bookmark. So now we've got a couple of different applications in here that we can use in order to have our dashboard. And from here, we can continue to add more and more applications and that sort of thing. What I'm going to do here, I want to show this just real quick. Let's go to CSS, and I tell you what, let's jump over here to my CSS on this page. I'll grab this, I'm going to copy that, and then I'm just going to come back over here to Flame. I'm going to paste that in there and click Save. Great, let's reload. And just like that, everything looks just like my previous dashboard. Of course, you would want to find your own images and upload them to your server. Now, this is actually why I said you should map this to a folder on your server and not just a volume in Docker. Because if we come over to that mapped folder, we come into here, right here are basically, here's your backup. If you ever wanted to grab this and move it somewhere else, you could absolutely do that very, very easily just by copying new files from your existing server to your new server. Very, very easy to do that. So let's go to uploads. You can see there's nothing in here. So let's come over here to, let's go to Google, images, and let's do a search for, yeah, wallpapers 4K. Let's do that. And then let's find, I actually really like this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of drag that over there. I'm going to open this image in a new tab. Hopefully, there it is. Grab that, just drag this over here. Oh, well, you see, there you go. This is why we kind of do some of this stuff. We want to make sure that we have the proper privileges in here. Actually, you know what? Here's what we can do to make sure that we don't mess with any privileges. So let's drag this over to here. Let me see if I can drag it over there. Nope, cancel. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Since I have the application open, what I can do is come over here to Flame. Then I can add, let's just add a new bookmark. We're going to do switch this, choose that. We're going to go to my desktop. I'm going to select this. I'm just going to type in some stuff. Oops, social media, fine. Visible, fine. Add. And then just like that, it uploaded it to here. And then you'll want to grab this. So we're going to do that. And then we can come back over to here. Go back, go to our settings, go to our CSS. So we're on a different IP address. This will be 183. This is going to be 5066 upload. Like so, and then click save, reload. And right there is our new image. So kind of a little workaround if you don't want to mess with permissions. You can just upload your images that way. Let's go back and then let's go to bookmarks. We're going to edit bookmarks. And then this one, we're just going to delete, say okay, go back. And there we go. Now we've got our new aesthetic here for our dashboard with custom wallpaper, with some hover states that are a little bit darker than they were originally, some additional padding, those sorts of things. I'll try to make sure to put the style sheet stuff that I used for my setup in the wiki over here so that you can take a look at that and make sure that you get the aesthetic you want. And of course, modify the crap out of the CSS, man. Break it, fix it, do what you want with the CSS, have fun with it. Overall, I really dig this particular dashboard. It's simple, it's elegant. You can use it however you want. Like I said, all of this authentication stuff just was released this morning. I thought it was going to be another week or so, but luckily it was released this morning. So lots of really great stuff in the Flame dashboard. Big shout out to the developer of this. Very, very happy with it. So again, links to everything in the description down below if you want to check any of this stuff out. Of course, while you're down there, there are several ways that you can support the channel, whether it's becoming a channel member, which I'm thinking about actually getting rid of. I'll explain at another time why I'm thinking that. Patreon, PayPal, Coffee, whatever. Of course, none of it's required. I don't expect it. But if you want to help out, that'd be amazing. I do want to give a big shout out to my channel members, my patrons. You guys are amazing to continue to support me through all of the craziness going on right now. Thank you guys for being amazing. Really do appreciate it. But I think with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So as always, thanks for your time. I always appreciate your support. And I'll talk to you in the next video.